Hello and welcome to another TV Central podcast. I'm Aaron Ryan. In previous podcasts, I generally chat to network programmers or television writers or bloggers, so today's podcast is something different to say the least. Let me set this one up. The ABC sends out preview discs for shows, and I usually review at least two each week. Whilst going through a pile a couple of weeks ago, I saw Raw Comedy that is screening or has screened, depending on when you listen to this podcast, on Saturday, June the 25th at 10:20 p.m., which was basically a program for new stand-up comedy talent to showcase their stuff and become the winner of the competition. There was definitely some talent, some nerves, as well as a couple of crickets, but overall the new talent was very good. However, I was just very impressed with one of the talents of the competition, Tom Gaynor. His style and black humour was right on the mark, and I really believed we had unearthed some fresh comedic talent. So what did I do? I tracked him down for a chat on the TV Central podcast, and as a bonus, he will do a routine for us as well, so stand by for that. Tom Gaynor, thanks for joining me at TV Central.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not actually there, but I'm on the phone. Thank you for having me on the phone.
No worries. Hey, look, let's get a bit of background about you before we talk about raw comedy. And just first ask what made you want to get into comedy?
Oh, well, I guess I probably always had it in the back of my mind since I was young. My mum tells me that there was one time when I was really young when we were going present shopping for my little brother, and in frustration, she said, what do you buy a boy who's got everything? And I said, insurance. And I probably haven't said anything that funny since then, but I am trying really, really hard.
Well, you're talking about your mum there. I mean, what's it like at home? I mean, I guess you imagine that a comedian's home would be full of laughs. So what's it like growing up in your family?
Um, I guess I wish I could tell you it's just like a sitcom and everyone's just making zingers all day, but it's just like I have a big Irish Catholic kind of family with a lot of drinking and fighting, but I guess there's some funny things. I'm trying to think of something funny. I dress my nana up in like gangster clothes sometimes and take pictures of her and send them to my cousins. That's kind of funny.
So it's a little bit like Two and a Half Men, and then a little bit Two and a Half Men off the set too. You know, with all Charlie Sheen's issues. So you got a bit of both.
For sure, for sure.
So what did your mum say when you said, "Mum, look, I've been thinking about my future, and I want to get into comedy."
She doesn't. I don't think she even supports me now, but I think she will sometimes go. She likes to be my kind of dark side. Like she likes to be the devil on my shoulder. Like she likes to say, "Oh, that wasn't a good set," and then I try harder. She's my little like personal trainer. She pushes me harder.
So tell me some of the things you're actually, I mean, interested in. I mean, obviously there's comedy, but I understand you're a bit of a writer as well. So what would be the ideal future for you?
I probably like my life dream kind of thing. I wanna write for TV and maybe feature films eventually. That's my big plan. And if that failing that, maybe become a famous chef, like but not the Jamie Oliver kind, like the food poisoning kind.
Ah, excellent. Yeah, put that would be a good one for your resume. So tell us about raw comedy. Like you entered the competition a year earlier and did not get through. What happened? Is that right?
Yeah, I basically that was like the first gigs I ever did that year, and I basically thought I could just say rude things and that would be funny, and that technique served me quite well throughout high school. But in the end, it failed on stage. Like I got through to the semi-final and then bombed out. But yeah, I think it's an awesome initiative, and if anyone that believes they're funny should definitely enter Raw. It's a great thing.
So I mean, how does this process work for somebody that doesn't know? I mean, is there some sort of advertisement put out somewhere and you apply and then you go to an audition and then it's a bit like Australia's Got Talent sort of, but then for comedians or?
Yeah, there's heats in all the major cities, and you can read about it in like like we have Rip It Up magazine in Adelaide, but just kind of like street magazines, and they promote it on Triple J. So check it out on the internet if you think you're funny, and then you just go down to a heat, and then it goes to finals, and then you end up on TV if you're really hilarious.
Yeah. Now, when I was watching the special, there was quite a big crowd for the ABC Raw Comedy special. How were the nerves? That was a huge crowd.
Oh, I was a wreck. I remember being backstage and just shaking, but the nerves are the fun part as well. I think the nerves make your regular life so much easier. Like I used to be nervous about taking the bins out at night, kind of thing, and now I've performed in front of 2,000 people, and then the bins seem not so scary. But then another side of me goes, well, you've been on TV, so people are going to know you, so you're going to have more chance of being accosted while taking the bins out.
Never looked at it that way. Um, with this Raw Comedy, is there any prizes, or is it just the fact that you the winning title that's the ultimate prize, or is there contracts or anything?
Well, the winner, Dane Rathbone, is being flown to Edinburgh, and there's like a British version of Raw Comedy. It's called something else. I can't remember what it's called. But he's a genius. Like I can't think of anyone more deserving. So I won a bunch of flowers for my runner-up and gave them to Mum, and she ended up leaving them on the train that night, which I'll
You're
never
j-
forgive her for.
you're joking.
Yeah, yeah. What a nuts. I think we were in Melbourne, so she can't. I don't think you can even get flowers through airplane customs, domestic customs, if that even exists.
So that sounds a little well, not so much harsh. So the winner goes to Edinburgh, and the person that was almost there, the runner up, gets some flowers.
Yeah, we're all suicidal, the rest of us.
But was there at least an opportunity while you're there to mingle? I mean, the hosts and stuff were there, which are famous comedians, or and just get some contacts and some some chat about the business and that.
Oh, for sure. I met like lots of industry people and comedians that I've just looked up to since I was little. Like the whole experience is amazing. And also, a girl added me on Facebook and sent me a picture of her tits, which I encourage. That was excellent.
Beautiful. Actually, you were just saying then about comedians you're looking up to. Who are some like favorites of yours, or some ones that you've always sort of followed?
Oh, there's just so many. I've loved like Dave Chappelle since I was a kid, Ricky Gervais, Larry David, like they're big ones. And for me, like Tim and Eric recently have been amazing. Um, I take a bit from everyone, but Steve Martin's hilarious on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just like all the classics, nothing special.
One of my favourite ones, I guess at the moment, or has been for a couple of years, is Russell Brand. I love his mixture of cheekiness and a bit rude but hilarious. And
I'm
you fo-
actually reading my bookie book, like his biography right now, and it's like hilarious. He's like, yeah, I love Russell Brand also. He's like, I one day want to slaughter as many women as he does.
Isn't he married now though? Or he
Yeah,
probably.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second.
Mm.
But yeah.
Look, we'll leave the personal questions there for now. We're going to attempt to do something a little different now and offer you a set here on the podcast. Now, I guess the reason it's a bit different is because with comedy, you're used to having a crowd and having immediate feedback to spur you on. But in this case, there's going to be absolutely none. It's just an open mic, and I suppose thousands of people listening to this podcast at their own leisure in the future. So, is this something different for you?
It certainly is, but that's okay.
All right. Well, let's give it a whirl, ladies and gentlemen, with an open mic routine from Adelaide, Australia. Here is fresh, raw comedy talent from Tom Gaynor.
Okay, where should I begin? Calamari, calamari, calamari. That has a nice ring to it. It's important to me to make people happy. Like sometimes I go into hospitals and I sneak into a bed in a critical condition ward, and then a doctor comes past and I jump out and I say, "It's a miracle." My dad is really annoyingly old-fashioned. He likes to play a game after dinner, and whoever loses has to do the washing up. It's called Which One of Us is a Woman? And then one time he told me not to take the easy way out, which would have been fine, but the house was on fire at the time. I didn't know my dad until I was quite old. We organized to meet in a bar, and I asked my mom, how will I know which one is my dad? She said he'll be the only other person in the room that looks like a gay elf. I love my mum because she has never told me that I have selective hearing. One time, I met the brother of actor Christian Bale, Muslim. I like celebrities, but recently I've been thinking that Mel Gibson may not know what women want. The other day I went to my grandparents' house. As I arrived, I saw my pa on the balcony smoking a pipe and sitting on his rocking chair. I said, "Pa, I didn't know you smoked." He said, "Everyone smoked in my day." I didn't want to cause trouble, so I just nodded. But in my head I was thinking, I'm pretty sure crystal meth was not around back then. I have a nana too. She's great. One time I spent a whole day trying to coax my nana out of the bath because the old "you'll get wrinkles" didn't work. The same night I went to this guy's 21st whom I never met before. It wasn't awkward though until I made a speech. I don't mean to be a racist, but only ethnic people call orcas killer whales. I feel bad for orcas. Imagine how much bigger their penises would be if they ever got out of that cold water. It's kind of like, imagine how much better coffee would be at keeping you awake if it wasn't full of warm milk. I used to think I was naughty, then someone told me it's not counted as skinny dipping if you're in the bath. But I still do naughty stuff. The other day, I was drinking house wine outdoors and listening to AM radio after midday. But I'm not all bad. To finish, I want to share with you a life dream of mine now before I go. It's quite personal. Well, actually I have two. The first one is to work in a time machine factory. I would just make one in the morning and set it to 5 p.m. The second is I want to open up a homosexually inclined refreshment stand at a horse racing track and call it Gay Waterhouse. Thank you very much.
Yay! Do you know what? I was just at the start, the calamari thing. I didn't get it for like until the third time you said, well, you said the joke, and then you went on to the next one. I thought, what on earth did that mean? And then it actually, I was about 10 seconds behind with that one.
I only wrote that last night in the shower, and I thought that was hilarious for some reason, so I just said it.
Yeah, it was just one of those delayed reactions, and then I wasn't able to turn off my mic, so I had my hands over my mouth laughing. So that was fantastic. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
I hope people appreciate the humour as much as me, and I hope some doors are open to you in the future. Is there anything in the wings at the moment?
Nothing set in stone. I'm just always working hard on writing, and definitely some things I'm excited about. So hopefully you see or hear from me very soon.
Well, Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure, a thrill, and a laugh, and thank you so much for joining me at the TV Central podcast.
Thank you, Aaron.
Tom Gaynor, new Australian comedy talent with more to come, so watch this space. It's always nice to shake things up a bit and sometimes deviate from the usual podcast. I also think it is important to focus on new talent in Australia, and I hope to see Tom featured both in front of the camera and behind the camera also with his writing. The comedy special Raw Comedy can be seen Saturday, June the 25th, 10:20 p.m. ABC One. That is all from this podcast. Until our next one, take care. I'm Aaron Ryan for tvcentral.com.au. See you then.